As the first angel, the prince of darkness, the devil himself, Lucifer stands out as one of the most fascinating and complex characters in Christian mythology. His name means light bringer or morning star, which is also the name given to Venus at dawn. In religious contexts, Lucifer is usually identified with Satan and represented as the personification of evil and the source of all temptation. Later, in Christian demonology, Lucifer became to be known as a prince of hell who embodies the sin of pride, one of the seven deadly sins in Christian theology, which is believed by many scholars to be the root of all sins and the deadliest and most dangerous of them all. So, who was Lucifer? How and why did he fall from heaven? And where did the story come from? Let's find out. The Bible indicates that Lucifer, originally known as Hillel, was once the highest and most beloved angel among all angels in heaven. He was described as a perfect being in every way, intelligent, wise, powerful, and beautiful. Of course, as an angel, he was created to serve and glorify God and carry out his orders in the universe. However, as time passed, Lucifer changed. He became more and more impressed with his own beauty, intelligence, and power that he began desiring for himself the honor and glory that belonged to God alone. His pride grew stronger and stronger, to the point of questioning God's power, authority, and decisions. Eventually, he believed that he was equal to God and could better rule the heavens, and therefore was convinced that he should take God's place. Despite being wise and intelligent enough to foresee the consequences of his actions, Lucifer, blinded by his overwhelming pride, led a revolt against God to fulfill his ambitions. He convinced a third of the angels to join him in his rebellion. Eventually, in an epic battle known as the War in Heaven, Lucifer and his allies were defeated by the archangel Michael and his angelic forces. Following that, he was cast out of heaven as a fallen angel, and the one once named the bringer of light in heaven is now known as the devil, the source of evil on earth. It was pride that corrupted Lucifer and led to his downfall. Maybe this is why pride is believed to be the most dangerous and deadliest sin of all, as it can diminish self-awareness and lead to arrogance, selfishness, and even a lack of empathy towards others, which is, in the end, will lead to megalomania, a delusional belief in one's own greatness, importance, and power. Of course, there are other versions of the myth, and they all share similar motives and elements. For example, in some traditions, Lucifer was cast out of heaven for refusing to acknowledge the creation of mankind. He then became the source of evil and humanity's eternal enemy. In other traditions, he is considered a god who created and shaped the material world after his fall from heaven. All of these stories, regardless of their differences, are trying to answer one single question: why does evil exist? The exact origin of Lucifer's myth is unclear. However, there are two similar stories to that of Lucifer's in ancient Middle Eastern mythology: the Canaanite myth of Attar and the Ugaritic myth of Hilal. Those two stories also share common themes of rebellion, pride, ambition, desire, and a fall from heaven. In the first myth, Attar, the god or goddess of fertility, tried to overthrow Baal, the sky god, but he or she failed. As a result, Attar was banished from heaven to become the ruler of the realm of the dead. In the second myth, Hilal, a demigod or lesser deity, attempted to ascend higher than the rest of the gods by challenging the supreme god El. Hilal failed and was sent to the underworld as a punishment. Yet another similarity between these three characters, Lucifer, Attar, and Hilal, is that their names all mean the shining or the bright one, and they all are associated with Venus. Now, despite all of this, Lucifer's story remains a reminder of the dangers of pride and the importance of humility. It symbolizes how even angels, who represent light and righteousness, can fall into darkness. Thank you for watching. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe and to turn on notifications.